Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jeremy and Dalton. Welcome to the Not Alone Project. Happy New Year 2021. You ready for this new year?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I've already made the mistake. I had to write a check the other day, and I still put 2020, so then I had to scribble it out. It takes some time for me to get used to 2021 because the first 7 days of this year, it's already felt like last year.
Yeah.
Like we're already seeing some weird stuff in the headlines. We're getting ready to go in the second week of the year. This whole thing in DC happened yesterday. I'm looking at that going, what are we doing? Oh, come on. So anyway, here we go. Starting off this new year. And, as much as we can joke about things, this is some serious topics we're going to talk about. This Not Alone Project is a suicide prevention / let's make some positive light of mental health because it is something that we need to look at. It's something that almost like people have New Year's resolutions to work out, mental health also requires some exercises. And so we'll get to some of those today. But, I was thinking of you this week because we went by January the 4th. And January the 4th of 2021 is the 5-year anniversary. Right. January the 4th, 2016, when you lost your cousin, your best friend, Spencer, which was the catalyst to what is this program now. But, I was thinking about you. I texted your mom that day, and she's like, how's D? How's he doing? I know that you've grown a ton in 5 years. What went through your mind January the 4th this year thinking, man, it's been 5 years? I talked to Mrs. Osborne at the middle school, too. And I said, I don't even know where I feel. Has it been a fast 5 years or a slow 5 years? I didn't even know. Because some days I'm like, my gosh, that's gone by so fast. But then looking back at 2020, I thought, I think I aged a decade in 1 year. And so what went through your mind on the 5-year anniversary of losing your best friend?
Well, I think it's easy to, be sad on that day, which I was. I was sad at points. But I think it's also good to look at, it's only been 5 years since it happened, and we've already, I believe, that we've helped so many people. Yeah. Just because of of what happened on that day 5 years ago. Yeah. And I think it's good to look at it like, what happened was terrible and it's sad, but what we did about it was amazing, and it happened in less than 5 years.
The response. Yeah. It's interesting because there's no wrong answer. Sometimes it takes a while to respond to such a tragedy. And a lot of people watching this program have lost somebody that they care about. And I want to be honest and say that sometimes it's an anchor that just keeps us captive in that moment for a long, long time. And it would be so easy to get stuck. It would be so easy to stay there. It would be so easy to think about the what ifs, the what could have been, what did I do wrong. But there's also this turn around the corner that says, what can I do now? And I think you've had a really nice approach of, what can I tell other people? Because I know what this feels like, and I want to make sure that you don't get there. And I think that in that purpose of help me use this to guide me, in that purpose, I think it's helped you not stay in that moment. Right. You and your family. Yeah. I mean, I think about the parents. Yeah. I think about Shelby. I think about, the sibling of, how are they doing? And then, I kind of read about and check in, and I'm like, man, they're doing okay. Because, A, they're telling the good stories about Spencer. They're reliving the good memories. And B, they're helping other people. And I think that's very important. So one of the topics, the big topic of today, is I want to talk about New Year's resolutions. Every year, most likely, people make resolutions. And even in COVID, I've already talked to my friends at the YMCA. The numbers have increased. The people that come to work out the first week of the year, it's like, here it is, I'm going here. And then 4 weeks into it, 1 month into it, it's kind of like, where'd they go? It's so easy to stop a New Year's. It's easy to make promises.
Right. It's hard to keep them.
It's easier to break promises, So what is a resolution? It is a promise, but that promise also requires responsibility. I was reading this thing today. It's easier for me to read about doing push-ups than it is for me to do the push-ups. Mm-hmm. I can know all about getting healthier, but to take the steps to get healthier, like for example, I am trying to drink a gallon of water a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 7th day of January. This is the worst thing I've ever done. I feel like I have to pee every 2 minutes. After a week, it's hit me like I'm doing it. I don't like it. It's not a habit yet. And they say, it takes 7. No, it takes way more than 7 to drink a gallon. It's miserable. But I'm trying. You know why? Because I read about it, but now I'm trying to put it into action. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just read about it.
Right.
And they don't take the step. And so I had some fun. Got on the old interweb. Got to Googled the top 10 resolutions for 2021 for adults. I know we got some students watching, but you will understand, if you're a middle schooler, if you're a high schooler, you're going to understand why adults would say this. But let's go over the top 10. Number 1, exercise more. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to. And I bet they made these resolutions in December, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And so exercise more. Number 2, eat healthier. We can read about that all the time. Exercise more, eat healthier. Number 3, I like this one. Spend more time with family and friends. When you look in the rear view of 2020, we probably had a lot of Zoom meetings, but did we spend good quality time? No. Were we allowed to? Not really.
Yeah.
Number 4, lose weight. So let's slow down here. 3 of the top 4 had to do with healthier weight, body image, whatnot. Number 5, live more economically, which I think that's a good one. Spend less than you make. Don't go backwards. Don't go upside down with your money. Number 6, big fan of this one. Spend less time on social media. I'm mentally there. I'm ready to kind of close some apps, delete some friends. Number 7, improve performance at work. Focus on your work. Do excellent. That's good. Number 8, reduce stress at work. That's a good thing too, I think, obviously. Number 9, quit smoking. I quit smoking years ago because I never started.
Yeah.
But I can see how that's an addiction,
yes.
like for real. Matter of fact, I grew up and my grandfather smoked. And I remember, I don't know why, but being in his truck with him, going somewhere, when he first lit it, that first ordeal smelled kind of good. But then it just went downhill from that on the cigarette. But I remember the first one, I can see why he does that. And then the next one, I'm like, never mind. No, ruins. And number 10 was cut down on alcohol. So those are the top 10. Exercise more, eat healthy, spend more time with family and friends, lose weight, live more economically, spend less time on social media, improve performance at work, reduce stress at work, quit smoking, cut down on the drinking. That is according to www.statista.com, like statistics, statista.com. It was a survey of like 5,300 adults. I believe it. But I also know that with that, like we just said, if you're going to make a commitment to a resolution, you must also accompany it with action. Goals without action is kind of like wishes. Right. I wish I'd wake up and lose 20 pounds. It's not going to happen. If it does, let me know, because I need that wish list too. If you got that genie in the bottle, whatever. But when I read about these and I started thinking about it takes some work, as it does. I mean, without the discipline, without the responsibility, we'll never have resolutions that work. My mind started to think about, well, that sounds good for exercise. That sounds good for eating healthy. That sounds good for working out. But what about our mental health? Right. What about our mental health, which is, to me, not just as important as physical health, but it may be even more important in my life now. And when I look and I talk to students and kids, I start to wonder, they look great. They're doing gym class and great. But I'm like, man, your mental health, what's up, dude? So let's do this. And so I've found a little website called, it was parade.com. And even wrote some of these myself, a top 10 list to exercise our mental health. So number 1, and you can tell some of this is in reflection to what we just read. Focus on a passion, not the way you look. Exercise more, eat healthier, lose weight. Cool. But now you're a slave to that. And who and why are you doing that? That was my next question. Like, why are you really doing that? Number 2, work out to feel good, not to be thinner. Kind of coincides, right? Like, why are we working out? I hope if you want to work out, I hope you're doing that for you and your health, not because you want to look like something else. not because you want to wear the clothes that this person wears, not because you want other people to like the way you look more. And I understand that's a cool thing. It's a good thing to get that attention, to be desired, if you will. But the fact is, if you don't love yourself, it doesn't matter what other people think, to be really honest. Don't let that be your gasoline that drives your engine. So work out to feel good. If you want to get healthy, if you want to eat healthy, awesome. Do it for you, right? Do it because you think you're worth it. Your body deserves that. And man, more power to you. That's the reason. The reason why to be healthy is so the result is you can be healthy. And the people around you can see, hey, that person's healthy. That's a good result. So I like that. What do you think about that? Like, I know, first of all, you have a good metabolism.
Yes.
You can eat anything and lose weight, which drives me nuts. I cannot even smell a Subway sandwich without gaining weight. I've seen you. You can put some food down, and I'm looking like, you burp. And I'm like, man, I'm so envious. So not at your age, you're not worried about the working out. But being an athlete,
right.
you know that you can eat because of the way you work, right?
I think, a good message to take from the mental health resolutions that he said is you kind of have to get yourself healthy on the inside before you can even try to get healthy on the outside. So I think it's important to focus on, how you feel about yourself first and what your mental image is of yourself before you focus on what others think about you. Because, if you get caught up in how others feel about you, you're not going to be very happy because people are mean. People
and they're selfish.
Yeah, people are selfish. They don't think about how what they say or what they think is going to affect you. And, I think you just have to kind of take that in stride as much as you can and, just kind of focus on how you feel about yourself before you even attempt to focus on how others feel about you.
I just came to my mind, and I hadn't written this down or anything. I drink coffee every morning. I have like 3 of my favorite coffee mugs. And when I make coffee, I have a Keurig, pours the coffee in. Then I put a little bit of milk in. But then because I've got a 3-year-old at the house who loves chocolate milk, sometimes I squirt a little Hershey chocolate into it because it makes it better. Anyway, over the duration of me drinking my coffee, sometimes that chocolate milkish kind of thing gets on my lip when it gets on the outside of the coffee mug, right? Well, what do? After I drink my coffee, I go take it to the kitchen sink and I wash off the outside, right? Because I don't want that chocolatey residue on the outside. Even if the outside of the cup is perfectly clean, I'm drinking the stuff on the inside. That cup could look amazing, but if it's filled with mud, no. I don't want it, right? And so, yeah, it should look great from the outside if you want. I mean, it does it matter? Not really. But what is on the inside of that cup, that's what I'm interested in. That's what attracts me. That good coffee, yes. If it's cold coffee, no. If it's coffee that's been sitting there a week in that mug and I go to them, I need coffee, you're not it. Outside's cool. Inside is essential. So, want to get fit, you want to get healthy, fantastic. But man, let's figure out why. And let's figure out healthy on the inside, and then we can go. Number 3 for me, stop gossiping. This is on my list of things I want to start accomplishing. Not even if you start the gossip, but if you hear the gossip, stop the gossiping. Be a person who communicates positive. Like, commit to that in your head. Man, if I hear something bad about somebody, I'm just going to be like, hey, man, yeah, I guess that's possible, but, I've seen better in them. I know that they know better. I've seen them do that. Just you don't have to agree with whatever you hear, and you don't have to tell the person you're a jerk for gossiping. But you can stop the path that involves you. And even if that gossip is true and there's some terrible things, you know what you can say, you know what, I've done terrible too. Thank goodness I don't do that anymore. I know what it's like to let people down, and that's hard, but let's believe the best in a person. That's big to me right now. Here's one thing that can give our mental health a boost. Go out of your way every day to compliment somebody. Look for the goodness. Like, make goodness attractive. when somebody does something well, and you can do it all day a lot of times, but man, make sure that you give one compliment a day. Could be to your sister, could be to your parents, could be your grandparents, could be to somebody on a team, could be to a friend, even on social media. Give one compliment a day. Then check it off the list. And then maybe you want to do it 2 or 3 more times, but man, make sure you do it one. The more that you start to give compliments, I promise you, it shifts your perspective because you start looking for the good, right? Does that make sense? Like, I love that challenge. I did that to my 8-year-old. I challenged him, say, Carjo, compliment somebody every day. Like, find something good. And he has rocked it. He's kind of cool about it.
Yeah, I think like it's one of those things too where people say you're a product of your environment. And I think if you start to compliment the people that you're around all the time and, your friends that you hang out with, they're going to be happier. And then in turn, you're going to be happier because you're a product of your environment. And when they're happy, they're going to uplift you into a better mood. Even if, you're sad about something, they're going to make you at least, be happy while you're around them. And then maybe they start to return the compliments, You just spread those good feelings around.
We seem to find what we look for.
Yeah.
Right? And so if we look at good things, hopefully we'll find them. The next one. This is probably, I didn't put these in order of importance, obviously, but this one is important to me. Talk to yourself with kindness. I say that because I know that I am my biggest critic. I know when I make a mistake, there's not a person on this planet that is more aggravated at me than myself. Even years ago. I'm telling you, I can lay in my bed and remember something stupid I did and start sweating in anger at myself. Like, I can't believe I said that 5 years ago to that person. Like, I mean that. And I start to talk down to myself. I start to be rude to myself. And it gets me down. Like, it gets almost to a depression. And so, again, I'm thinking about my sons. They mess up every day. But mentally, I'm like, yeah, you're 9, you're 3. This is going to happen, right? I forgive really easy, but I don't forgive myself as easy. And so I'm trying to adapt. This is brand new to me. We're a week into this. No way have I succeeded at this yet. But I want to be a little bit kinder to myself. Whoa, Jeremy. You blew that, bro. Maybe you're having a bad day. Maybe there's something lingering, hanging in the air that was upsetting to me. Let's go make that right. Let's forgive yourself, but make sure you make it right. But man, don't let that be ammunition for later to get upset. And I think to talk to myself with kindness has been a way. Like, there's this song, one of my favorite songwriters, Andrew Peterson, said, how do you win when the war that you're in is you against you against you? And it says you got to learn to love your enemy too. And I thought, man, because I am my biggest enemy most of the time. Then the Bible says to love your enemy. And I thought, man, what if my enemy is me? I need to learn to be kind to myself. But that's huge for me. Like, right. Do you struggle with that at all? Like, do you look at the past and be like, what was I doing?
Yeah, I do that all the time. You'll be bored or not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, something embarrassing that you did like 5 years ago. And
nowhere.
And you're just like,
it has no purpose in being in my day. Where did that thought come from? Why? And then, here's what's even dumber. It's dumb that I think of it, but it's worse. It's dumber. It's dumb and dumber. It's dumbest that I go, I got to focus on this. On it, Like, I ruined the rest of my day because of this left field dumb thought. All right, done with that. Be kind to yourself, man. You deserve kindness, and trust me, the world's not throwing it at you. If you learn to give it to yourself, you'll learn to know that you deserve it, and that's what you'll start to accept. It changes your perspective. All right, this is an easy one. Maybe it's not an easy one. Call somebody instead of texting them. I'm a techie guy, but I'm also like an old school on this too. I don't like texting for one reason. I have the fattest thumbs that I know of. And so I'm like, hey, how are you doing today is what I mean to put. And what I end up typing because of my fat thumbs is, hey, let's go eat a cat. Like, what are you doing? Like, then I have to, and then because I'm so slow, they've written like 4 things making fun of me before I could be like, that was a typo, my bad. they're like, Jeremy, what are you drinking or smoking today? I'm like, I was just saying happy New Year. But what happens if I call somebody, they can hear my voice. They can hear my tone. Anything simple from, I have a friend that has COVID, and Carson and Dylan and I were out to get lunch a couple days ago. Instead of texting, because I know I'd blow it. I know I'm talking on the phone and driving. Who cares? It's better than texting for me, promise. Like, hey, I'm out with the guys. We're going to grab Wendy's. Do you want anything? And even though they didn't, they said thank you. And then they text messaged me like, hey, thank you for thinking about me. Yeah. Be sincere. Let people hear your voice. Again, now let's remember, in reflection of 2020, not a lot of people heard our voice. Mm-hmm. They read our words. Maybe they saw us on screen. Maybe we did Zoom meetings or virtual classes. But I promise you, your voice is missed. And let me tell you something else. I also know that you miss people's voices. And so when you can connect on that voice level, when, that's another thing, sarcasm. You can't really pick up sarcasm in text. Someone could say something in text message and you can completely read wrong. I'm not saying stop texting at all. It's convenient. I get it. But make sure you connect person to person. Do you make a lot of phone calls?
Not
You're
really.
young.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do agree that, phone calls are definitely better. It's hard to tell someone's tone from a text. It's easy to, there's this skit that I like, and it's supposed to be funny, but it's actually a thing that happens, and it's this one person, and he's texting his friend, and he's like, hey, you want to go get something to eat later? And he's like, he says yeah, fine. And he meant just yeah, fine, okay. But the other person was like, yeah, fine. What does he mean? And then,
fine is such
and so then it just ends up one guy is super mad at the other one, but the other guy just thinks they're going to get something.
We're going to get some burgers.
That's all.
Man, you know what I hate? My least favorite thing that the phone ever included was the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I misinterpret that a lot. I can take my time and type out a really significant text, hey, I was thinking about you today. I remember back when, proud of you for doing this, and I get one of these back. I'm like, you piece of crap. I just took my fat thumb time, wrote that thing out, and you're giving me the hooray. Anyway, connect with your voice. Next one, let go of grudges. Kind of the same way with those thoughts. Mm-hmm. People have wronged, you've wronged people, and the truth is, I even exercised this a couple months ago. I apologize to people for coaching the 8th grade basketball team. Mm-hmm. It's been years.
Yeah.
Apologized, and literally, I typed out, I'm so sorry that I had a part of this.
Yeah.
And it led back with venom. I'm like, man, it still hurts. The only thing I can do is apologize. Mm-hmm. If they want to hold that grudge, they can hold that grudge. I got to say I was wrong. I did this. It was wrong of me. I coached to win, not to develop players. That's my fault. Hope you can forgive me. And then I became still a villain, and I get it. I can't solve it. Mm-hmm. But for me, I gotta let go of grudges. Another thing, I like this one. This is one of my favorites. Send handwritten letters.
Oh yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
I'm old school. For some reason, we still have mailboxes in this world. Use them. Put that stamp on there. When you go out of your way to put a pen to paper, put a stamp on it to send somebody, that's an investment. It's a difference. I'm a big fan of those. Number 9, be kind on social media. That's hard. It's hard. It's about the same thing with your text messages, man. Mm-hmm. Same thing with gossiping. Social media can just be so easy to share or say something. Here's this big long conversation. You add a line to it at the bottom. Be kind. It's almost like when you say stop gossiping, be a person who communicates positively. It's the same way on social media. I have hundreds of times emailed something crappy and deleted it. You type it all out, you type out your post, and then you delete it. Man, I don't think that's going to be read well. They're going to think deleted it. If you have so much anger, write it out. Don't send it. Talk it out. Write it down. If you can take the time to write out what you're angry about, I'm not talking about your typing. With the pen and paper, do yourself a favor, crumple it up, throw it in the garbage, light it on fire, whatever. Get it out, but don't spew it out, if that makes sense. The last thing, this is my big challenge for 2021. Every night, write down one thing you're thankful for. Go to bed with gratitude. If you can go to bed being thankful, if you can say, man, today was a sour pickle kind of day, but man, I'm so glad I got to talk to this person. It's a great way to end your day, right? All right, so we've talked about the top 10 most popular resolutions. We talked about some 10 mental health. Did you have any resolutions this year? Did you come into it with like, let's do this?
Not really. But I think, now with some stuff that's happened in my life, I think I do have a few resolutions, and it's kind of to just get to do my own thing, and I want to, pursue the things that, make me happy. And I think that that's the most important thing, is that you're happy regardless of, what you're doing. I think this year I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to join the fishing team, because I got into fishing a couple years ago, and
dig it.
I just really like it. It's a place I can go to just, not have to really worry about anything, just, casting and trying to catch a fish. And if I don't catch any fish, then it was still fun, because I got to go out there and, just be with my friends. So
I love it. You Spencer fished, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I like that. That's a cool 5-year thing to do. Like fishing team. I dig it. I haven't been fishing in a long time. The only thing I've ever caught in my life was a bluegill. It was in a pond that was in like the side yard of my cousin's house. So I'm not opposed. I will say this. I'm more drawn to fishing now that I've seen it on TV as a competition.
Yeah.
Like the guys that have 30 fishing rods out in their boat. And the fact that there's penalties in fishing now, which blew my mind. Like if you reel it in and you drop it, you lose time. Yeah. Is that how they do it? Are those the rules?
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit different in high school and stuff, but there are like really similar rules to that. If your fish is injured or anything when you bring it into the weigh-in, that's a penalty. Yeah,
if your fish is injured.
Yeah, and I went to a tournament a couple years ago, and we actually ended up only losing by like a couple ounces. And one person that probably would have beat us got disqualified because they didn't bring their fish in a bag with water. They took it out of the live well, like where you keep it while you're driving the boat around, and then they put it in a bag, but the bag wasn't filled with water, so they got disqualified.
Inhumane fishing. Yeah. So I guess you can't use like dynamite or firecrackers. Anyway, guys, I hope that you're ready to have a great year. I hope that you are able to take some time for yourself. Make sure you get into a healthy place for your thinking, for your self-image. That's just important. Remember, if you're going to work out, do it for you. Anytime that you want to grow this year, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't change anything about you to make someone else happy. That would be one of my biggest pleads and begs to you. Don't change who you are for somebody else. It'll never work. Be kind to yourself, compliment others, and make sure you know what you're thankful for. That's good stuff. Hey, we're going to come back next month. We're going to have another interview next month. We're going to find some families that have been affected, maybe suicide, maybe mental health. But we want people to share their stories. And until then, we want to invite you to share your story. Join us on Instagram. Talk to us. I'm going to put it, look at the link right below. The Instagram is there. Share your story. If you want to talk to us, you want to share a story, man, if you want to be interviewed, let's do it. Let's connect, because your story matters. You matter. Your story matters. And I think you can help other people by sharing your story. The worst part about mental health is when we don't talk about it. That's it. We lose if we don't talk, because we win when we understand that other people understand. So whatever's mentionable is manageable. Let's talk together. Let's not hide it anymore. You're worth it. You're worth it. Everyone's worth it. Let's talk together and become healthier together. So Dalton, thanks for being with us. Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to watching some fishing tournaments. Yeah. Do they cheer? I'm starting it. Fishing fan club, big signs. The fish can't hear you. Whoa. Will I scare fish away?
Probably.
So if I go to where the other team is,
and then you cheer for them.
If I'm like, Go Pike County. It would scare their fish, right?
Probably.
This is genius. I figured out a way to cheat the fishing system. Guys, have a great month. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you.